The death of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, the most senior liberal justice in the U.S. Supreme Court, has kicked off a fierce political battle over who will fill the vacancy weeks ahead of the presidential election. The Supreme Court is mainly tasked with interpreting the U.S. Constitution and identifying and passing rulings on matters that will violate it. That makes the role of associate justices who have lifetime tenure very significant, as their opinions on various matters of dispute in the country can have effects that will last for generations. Ginsburg served as a justice for over 27 years. She was best known for her fight for women's reproductive rights, gender equality, and other progressive causes. Last week, she died of complications related to metastatic pancreas cancer at her home at the age of 87. Before her death, the Supreme Court consisted of 5 conservative and 4 liberal justices. Now, the vacant seat provides a rare opportunity for the conservatives to secure a more dominant majority in the court.
First of all, he wants to make it a political issue during the campaign because he thinks it'll benefit him. Trump is ideologically very aggressive, and therefore he wants to make this an issue which will rally his supporters. So that's one reason. Another reason is if the election winds up in the courts, which is very possible, he would want to have an ally on the top court. And that's another reason why he wants to appoint a pro-Republican judge.
She must have anticipated what was about to come. Days before her death, Ginsburg dictated to her granddaughter that she demanded the nomination for her successor to be put off until a new president enters the White House. But the majority leader in the Republican-dominated Senate, Mitch McConnell, pledged to get U.S. President Donald Trump a swift vote for his Supreme Court pick. The suggestion has sparked outrage among Democrats who recall that the Senate refused to fill the Supreme Court vacancy in 2016 until after the presidential election. Former President Barack Obama had picked his nomination back in March, almost 10 months ahead of the vote. Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden has called on the Senate to wait until after the November election to confirm Ginsburg's replacement, a precedent the Republicans set back in 2016.
If Donald Trump wins the election, then the Senate should move on his selection and weigh the nominee he chooses fairly. But if I win the selection, President Trump's nominee should be withdrawn. And as a new president, I should be the one who nominates Justice Ginsburg's successor.
Mitch McConnell blocked Barack Obama from filing a court vacancy in March 2016, arguing that the window of time was too narrow and saying the slot had to be held for the next president to fill. No Senate leader had ever before asserted the right to block a vote on a president's nominee to the Supreme Court. Both of Trump's Supreme Court appointments, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh, replaced justices appointed by fellow Republican presidents. But by replacing Ginsburg, who was appointed in 1993 by Bill Clinton, Trump could decisively skew the ideological balance of the court for decades.
Trump wants a pro-Republican court, which will benefit him in countless ways. But certainly, if there's if the election winds up in the court's hands, then it's all the more important for him to have a conservative-dominated court, which will decide in his favor, more likely decide in his favor.
Democratic Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer told Senate Democrats in a conference call on Saturday that if the Republican senators move forward with the vote, then, quote, nothing is off the table for the next year. Democrats are now suggesting that they can retaliate by expanding the court. The confirmation for the past Supreme Court nominations have taken some 80 days on average. With about 40 days until the election day, can Trump set a new record?